Have you ever wondered what will happen when a Wall Street guy who is managing more than $2.4 trillion is going to become the next Fed chair? He is not an economist, not a central bank employee, and he doesn't have any connection in the Fed. This is not a speculation. The prediction market is already showing 48% chance for a Wall Street guy becoming a Fed chair. He's not someone else. He is the CIO of BlackRock. His name is Rieder. If he became the next Fed chair, this is going to be a next historical moment in the Federal Reserve history. Now let's talk about the credibility of Rieder, who is actually a chief investment officer for global fixed income at BlackRock. He's not a Fed guy or an economist. He is just literally from the market itself. He had around 17 years work experience at BlackRock. On this timeline, he literally managed around $14 trillion worth of capital. Previously, he was working under Lehman Brothers, where he is managing their global proprietary trading desk. This is the guy who actually made money in the market, not a guy who studied the market. The anomaly here is that over the past 14 years, the person who became the Fed chair is either an academia or a person inside the Fed itself. Rieder will be the first person in the history who just actually coming from the market trading experience, not just observing. He's playing with the trillions of worth of capital at BlackRock. Poly market is already betting on what actually going to happen in the Fed chair competition. I'm putting here the data as of now, and today is Jan 24 as I'm recording this video. Interestingly, Rieder just overtook Wash within 2 weeks. The reason for is that after his final interview at 16th January with Trump just literally said he's impressive, and that actually shaken the prediction market, and Rieder became the first at the betting of next Fed chair. Trump personally interviewed Rieder on 16th January at White House, and that was his last interview after a couple of other interviews, and he just got shortlisted. And the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent already mentioned that the Trump will announce the next Fed chair this week itself. The one more point that Trump added here is that from the 11 candidates of Fed chair position, he already shortlisted the one guy. That means he already decided who going to be the next Fed chair. So we are just couple of days away from that right now. Now the important question, why should you need to care about this Fed chair selection? Does this impact your portfolio? The answer is it's absolutely going to impact your portfolio, because Rieder is one of the most dovish Fed chair that we are going to have if he elected. He already had a neutral strategy where he is arguing that 3% rate is the neutral point for Federal Reserve's interest rates, but in the case of Powell, it's around 4%. That means if he ended as a Fed chair, there should be aggressive cuts till the rate became 3%. And he also called for the 50 basis point rate cuts, where everyone is arguing for 25 basis point. Trump has been pounding for a long time for the rate cuts, and Rieder is going to deliver that. And one of the most interesting thing I just caught up is that he mentioned previously that the Fed should innovate on their balance sheet management. That means whenever we are in a global market condition, we should need to think of adding more liquidity and more easing cycle so that we can experiment with different scenarios. Actually, that is the best way to identify the critical problem in the market and solving them, rather than the defensive mode. This should be the massive shift from the Powell's hawkish stance on the interest rates. Now, what are the market implications if he became the Fed chair? In the case of bonds, the treasury yield is going to fall because of the aggressive rate cuts, and market is already started to pricing in for that already. We saw around 15 basis point fall when Rieder's chance became high in the poly market. On the other hand, the S&P 500 will going to reach a new all-time high if he entered into Federal Reserve, and the tech stocks will also get a huge boost because they will benefit from lower discount rates. But in the case of Bitcoin, this is going to be a massive shift. Previously on 2025 September, he mentioned that Bitcoin belonging in an ideal portfolio asset as a store of value like gold, and he also recommended 1 to 2% allocation for Bitcoin in your portfolio. In the case of BlackRock IBIT launch, he made a huge internal role for launching that kind of ETF initiatives. He is the guy who believed the Bitcoin is the legitimate asset, not a speculative one. But on other hand, Powell mentioned Bitcoin is a speculative asset said in multiple times, and he pushed back on the digital gold narrative, and he were imposing most regulatory policies to the Bitcoin. But Rieder is endorsing that digital gold narrative. If he entered into the market, we can see the new narrative that's emerging in the Bitcoin. And this should be a most philosophical shift in the case of entire crypto. In the case of dollar going to be weakened because of the lower interest rate. Gold already rallied 6% from the speculations of Rieder becoming the Fed chair in the last week. And everyone is expecting Bitcoin will follow the same path as gold in the upcoming days. The main controversy here is that Rieder is a Wall Street guy, and according to Powell, Fed should be independent from the politics and Wall Street. He defended himself to the Trump by saying, "I will not resign until my time in the Fed will expire as the law." If Rieder becomes the Fed chair, we will see a massive collision between monetary policy and Wall Street philosophies. So the people who are managing the capital, not just a capital, it's $1 trillion capital of clients, is going to manage the monetary policy itself. Now the important question is this actually a conflict of interest or just a modern central bank that we are going to see in the upcoming years? There are huge debates going on regarding this. Someone saying it is good. On other hand, some people are saying this is actually a dangerous. We should need to have an independent Fed. Even Republican Senator Tom Tillis said he will block any Fed nominees until the DOJ investigation into the Powell is already resolved. This could going to be a messy. So what is going to happen next? I just put in the timeline here. You can check it out. I am just splitting the scenarios into 3. So the first scenario will be Rieder becoming the Fed chair. In this case, we will see 15 to 20% of Bitcoin rally, stock will surge, dollar weaken, and bond yield is going to weaken. In his leadership, the crypto legitimacy is going to be accelerated because Powell was more pessimistic regarding the crypto, but Rieder is the guy who actually internally introduced the BlackRock IBIT. Scenario 2, Wash is going to be selected as a Fed chair. This is going to be more hawkish thing going to happen in the Bitcoin market. We will either see a sideline market or pullbacks. In this case, the traditional Fed independency narrative will stay longer, and the rate cut will be less aggressive in this case. And interest rates will not going to be reduced drastically in this case. So we need to be watched carefully for what happens next. And last scenario, the confirmation of the Fed chair is just blocked. In this case, Powell will continue until the case is resolved. This is the actual point of uncertainty. We may see a volatile market if this is the case. So let's end up by asking the important question. Does Rick Rieder will be the most dangerous person or more market-friendly guy as a Fed chair? To be honest, I don't know. We need to watch ourselves very carefully for upcoming days. And one thing is for sure, if he entered into the Fed chair position, the 4-year cycle is going to be changed drastically. And this is going to happen in this week. Follow this channel for more this type of contents, and we will be uploading consistently regarding the macro aspects of crypto. And comment below what are the topics we need a detailed research. I will be checking the comments very soon for the further update. And don't forget to subscribe. We will be posting more videos. Thank you so much.